Well, it says one guest, but it doesn't say who the guest is. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can find her. There you are. Hi, Rox. Hop over into the guest slot and I'll add you in. I guess while I've got my phone in my hand, I can shut the ringer off so that I'm not interrupted. Okay. All right, let me add you and then we will get going. Connecting. Didn't connect you. Let's try again. I hope it'll connect us because I really liked that video that you did, and I really wanted to discuss that with you. No, let me see. Make guest. Why isn't it connecting you? Okay, let me know when you're ready on your end. Um, Rox is actually a friend of mine, and she's in my support group also. And she did a video, I believe, yesterday. Um, but thank you for agreeing to come on and talk to me. Um, she has so much insight. Number one, uh, she's been around the block. You know, she's not some teenager that cries and complains over everything. She's my age and she has an opinion on things and she's a pretty smart lady. So normally if somebody asks her opinion or advice, she's got some good advice to give them. For 51 years, huh? Yeah, see, you're my age. So it's I love talking to people of all ages, but especially you know, even like our parents' ages, you know, and older. It's like I don't know, people fascinate me. But you're also from Puerto Rico, right? You were born in Puerto Rico? Let me see if I can get her. Oh, she's not in the guest anymore. Yeah, and see that gives another, another dimension to you, and it's so cool. That's why I love talking to people from all over. I guess people interest me because they have different viewpoints, and I'm always listening to how other people think and why they think that way, and trying to learn from other people, I guess. It's what makes my mind tick. And I especially love like talking to intelligent people. I have to admit they intimidate me because I'm not overly intelligent, but I love listening to really smart people talk. I'm just fascinated by them. But today was actually we should probably should let people know there's kind of a a trigger warning, a little bit of a trigger warning on this video because we're going to be touching on the Logan Paul saga, I guess, at this point, but not too much of that. I just kind of wanted to touch on that and how it pertains to people that deal with chronic pain, because our head is there a lot, and I would never want somebody to see something like that and think it's okay, or for kids to see that and think that it's cool, or it's just uh, it doesn't show you in guest rocks. Are you over in the guest slot? Because it doesn't show you there. Yeah, it doesn't show you over there. I don't see you there. It shows you in the chat, but not in the guest. Okay. Okay, Roxana is going to try to jump out and then jump back in to see if we can get her in again. But yeah, I love different people's points of view on things, and you know, she's got many different viewpoints because she's from another country, and she's older like I am, and it's just then I saw her video, and I'll let her talk about her video, but it was a really really good video. I feel like I should be, doing a song or a dance for you guys to keep you entertained until she gets on here. Oh, oh. Not enough sleep last night for sure. My mom is actually visiting and has been since before Christmas. And she brought her little dog with her, and the little dog barks in the middle of the night to go potty. And since my mom is elderly, she's also hard of hearing, so she doesn't hear the dog in the middle of the night. But I do from my room. So I get up 2 or 3 times a night to take her dog potty, and It's killing me. It's exhausted. It's not letting you back in. It's not letting you back into the guest slot. Let me see if I can pull you in. Is it asking you anything? Because I actually could click on your name and it brings up a little box that says guest. It's a no response. So try again. I'm sending you another one. That is bizarre. I don't know why it won't let you pop on. Do you have a channel also? Hi, Munching with Mandy. Yeah, Roxanne, it's not letting me even invite you in. Or for some reason, it's not connecting to you. You know what, Roxana? Did you try to reboot your tablet? I'm sending you another invite, but I don't know. You may have to reboot your tablet. I just don't know why it's not doing it. Whoops. I have no idea what I just did. Ah, this is too funny. Hi, Marianne Nurse. We're trying to get Roxanne in here, but for some reason her camera's not seeing, or her laptop's not seeing me, her tablet's not seeing me, nothing. It doesn't let you see anything. Do you have everything approved, like allowed? I know on why is it doing that? Good grief. Woo, Columbus, Ohio. How cold are you today? Yeah. Let me grab my phone a second. It was supposed to be 63 here today. And yeah, it is. It's actually 63 degrees here today. And you're not blocked, Mandy. Hi, Molly. Yeah, I can see and hear you guys. Can you see and hear me? Yeah, Marianne, I can see you. And you too, Mandy. I wouldn't block you guys, you goofballs. Alrighty, awesome. Rox, is it letting you into the guest slot yet? Yeah, Rox actually jumped offline real quick so that she could reboot her tablet. But no, my camera's on. I can see me fine. But you know what? It's been a year since I've gone, live on here aside from last night, but they've changed some stuff because when I logged in here, I had to um I don't know, Mandy. I don't know why you have a black screen. But I had to actually approve stuff because my computer automatically blocked it as a pop-up. That is weird, Mandy. But yeah, look up in the left-hand corner and like the padlock thing. I ended up right-clicking on that and then giving permission for everything. Yeah, Rox, let me see. Come on, connect.
Hi.
Aha! There
Finally.
we go. Okay. This is my friend Roxana.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting an echo. I can hear me from behind you. Do you have on a headset or do you have a headset?
No.
Can you turn the volume down?
Let me see. Well, if I turn
You
it
know
too
what?
much down, I can't see. I can hear you.
Yeah, I
Talk
can hear
now.
you. I'm getting a horrible echo.
Yeah, the volume is not it.
That's good. Right there.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so this is my friend Roxana. Thank you for coming on my channel. Um, you did a video, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah. Yesterday morning.
Okay, so tell everybody kind of what the video was about and why you chose to do that video.
Okay. Oh, keep in mind that I can barely hear you, so let me know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, her channel is also Metamorphosis Rocks. So,
Thank you. Thank you for the
hmm
shout out.
you're welcome.
What had happened was that
See what had happened was,
that on, was it Sunday? No, Monday. The first day of the year. Apparently Logan Paul had decided that it would be funny to show the Japanese suicide forest, and it so happens that there was a body. Now at that time we didn't know if it was real or fake. So the video was based on with both ideas. whether it was real or fake. If it was fake, to me, it would have been worse, because why are you making fun of suicide? Um,
Right.
but as it turns out, according to what he said in his second apology, it is real. It was a real dead body. What I had a problem was why are you showing the dead body? You're glamorizing. Your fans think it's cool. It's the worst part of the year for people to as far as the holidays and the weather wise, and for people like me and you that have chronic pain, it's ridiculous because you have this issue where it's winter, the days are shorter, the weather is bad, you're already feeling kind of down because of the holidays, and now this sucker goes and glamorizes it to the point where I am terrified that somebody's going to think it's a good idea to live stream their own suicide.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's why, and even though I didn't want to make a video like that because I wanted to start the year in a good tip, it was like I have to say something. And
Right.
that's how that video came about.
And you were saying on Twitter that there was a video that you saw where somebody was visibly upset, and all I had was the girl's first name, but I found the video, and you're right, she was trembling, she was shaking, she was so upset. Her name was Reagan. I don't know the name of her channel, or I'd give her a shout out, but her name was Reagan. And it really hit her hard. It took her by surprise. I think
I'm
that
trying to
video.
find, like, I'm trying to get a hold because I'm looking at you from a tablet, but I'm trying to find her name because she does body language analysis,
Uh-huh.
and she's really good at what she does. But you have to understand, I have a 26-year-old, so when I see stuff like that and see people that upset, it gets to me.
Yeah.
And because I know she's usually she's serious in her demeanor, but she's not that upset. The whole thing was kind of like sad to me. And
Yeah,
and
and
it's funny because yesterday after I recorded that video, I saw a video by Reina Scali. I don't know if you know who she is, but she does voiceover for Japanese anime because she's Japanese.
uh-huh.
And she used to be, I believe she used to be in BuzzFeed. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And she did a video from the Japanese perspective because she is Japanese. And I actually left a comment there, and I didn't know that people had left me comments after I left my comment, but it was like she actually said that from the videos that he had done, including that one, it was like he was talking down to the Japanese, and that
Oh,
upset
you're
her a lot.
kidding.
And it's bringing up all these things that I hadn't even thought about when I did the original video, which is why I left her link on my video, because the reality is it has so many ramifications. I mean, from all the way on the top, you were disrespectful to this person, you were disrespectful to his family, you were disrespectful to the Japanese community, and then you get into the whole issue of copycats and people trying to get their 5 minutes of fame or whatever.
Yeah.
So
And then
it has
he gets
so
out in
many,
the
and, and
parking
and we're
lot.
not even getting into the whole thing of the YouTube community, the smaller YouTubers that might be impacted by this also. It's just there's so much wrong with this guy in that video. It's
You
not
know,
even funny.
I think that he is so emotionally and mentally stunted in his, like, his age might be 26 or 25, whatever, but his mentality is certainly like 12 to 15. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's with his brother also. um they're just really emotionally, stunted in their growth, and they don't think that everything you do, yes, you have the right to say, anything you want, there's freedom of speech, but there are consequences, and you will face those consequences. And that's what they don't understand, is there are consequences to your actions, you know
And that
and
is
that's
part of that's part of the issue. People seem to believe that, oh, we have freedom of speech. Well, freedom of speech only applies to government institutions. Even though I will say, yes, I have a right to say whatever I want, but what I say and what I do has consequences. And I realize that bigger problem here is that he's just doing it. He said he was not doing it for the views. Baloney. He
Yeah.
was doing it.
Yeah.
He might not have done it for the money, but he did it for the views, and all his other videos are monetized. And he's going up in subscribers, so that should tell you everything you need to know about why he did it.
Well, did you
I
hear
can't
that
find her.
his apology video was monetized?
And it was number one on YouTube last night too, on trending. So he has two videos in 48 hours trending on. It was. I think the best person that said it was Peter Mon when he said this was absolutely a publicity stunt, and I have to agree with him. And he didn't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about anybody else, including the poor man that killed himself. So I don't know.
Or the
I'm
man's
trying to find
family.
Reagan, but I can't find her.
Mandy said she likes her also, and that is her name.
Okay, so if I look on the Reagan, I should find her.
Yeah, you know what I typed in? I typed Reagan body language.
Actually, you know what? It is. It is. The full name is Reagan. She's right. If you type
Marianne, we're
Reagan only, it comes. She's the. Obviously, there's two videos of Ronald Reagan, but then after that, the first channel that pops up is hers.
yeah, Marianne, we're talking about Logan Paul and how he showed the suicide victim on his channel
Give me a
in
second,
his
because I have to
video.
turn the light on. Ugh, I'm too uncomfortable for my own good. Sorry, I'm laying down with the heating pad on.
I don't blame you at
Surprise.
all. You know, I was saying it's 63 degrees here today, but it your bones start to ache and you're just like, I'm stiff today, you know?
Well, it's
But
40 degrees here, and my car refused to start. And I have this little thing called the Halo that's like a battery that
uh-huh.
you plug it in, and it works. It's the best thing I've ever purchased in my life. But if you cannot open the hood of your car, you cannot turn it on. I'm just saying. So yeah, it got really cold and windy. It looked like a hurricane. It was just as bad as the Hurricane Irma as far as the
Uh-huh.
winds. You could see the trees. We have tree limbs all over the property. Now, I live in an apartment complex, and there's tree limbs all over the place. And when that thing started is when we realized the car would not start. At which point, my
Oh.
daughter and I turned around and said, you know what? We're going home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So, now you also have a different perspective because you still take care of your mom? Is she still living with
Well,
you?
no, she's in a home.
Uh-huh.
But that's another thing, and people, it's so many layers.
It
Um,
is, and that's why I wanted to talk to you because it's like there's so many different perspectives and reasons why you have a different perspective on things, you know?
yeah, my mom. Here's the thing with my mom. Um, and this is, and I realize this is wrong, but it is what it is. And I did the same thing with my dad until the minute he died. I mean, he passed away, and I was thinking he was gonna get up. I am not the most positive person, but for some reason, I'm the most idealistic person you're gonna find. I'm the
Uh-huh.
one who's probably the plane is crashing and is probably going, "Oh, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine." So when it comes to my mom, every single time I go over there, I'm thinking that this is the day she's going to be a normal human being, and that's just not gonna happen.
Right.
And ironically, and this is why I made the point about Logan Paul not thinking about the smaller YouTubers. I kept thinking that for all those people, because I'm in a support group on Facebook that's just for people that are taking care of their family members with Alzheimer's. And
Mhm.
I was thinking to suggest to them to start going deep on social media because they could actually talk to other people. And thinking YouTube, you can make videos, tell people how you feel and what are you going through so that more people know. Because Alzheimer's is going to take over the world sooner or later. I mean, we're all going
Yeah.
to have it at some point.
It runs in my
And
family as well.
it's ridiculous the amount of people that have, if you have one family member, like if one of your parents has Alzheimer's, you have a 25% chance. If both of them have it, you have a 50% chance. And my sister and I have been talking about this lately. We think my dad was starting to show the signs. So that would mean I have a 50% chance that I won't remember anything that I'm doing right now in 20 years. Well, I'm sorry, A, I refuse to live with those standards, and B,
You're
I
not
still
going to
think that
remember
someday
this,
she's,
right?
yeah. So, what, I'm hoping, I was hoping to tell people maybe you should start your own, some of them, your YouTube
Uh-huh.
channel so that people can see what you're going through and how to help other people that are caregivers, because
Right.
caregivers get very little support. And when you think that there's people that have been doing this for 15 and 20 years, it's crazy. It's just
You know,
crazy.
it's hard. It's so hard because,
Mm-hmm.
like, my mom, my dad, and then I had a grandparent, and
Wow.
it just terrifies me. Um, and it's hard to take care of them because
Yeah.
they're so volatile. They're so volatile. And I don't think people give the caretakers enough credit what they go through, and they're stuck there with that patient because taking that patient out becomes a nightmare.
Well,
And
I can tell you from personal experience, okay, well, hold on. I convinced my parents to move to Florida in August. We got here September 2nd. And by October, they were living with me because they were driving my sister crazy. Not on purpose. It was just,
right,
my sister worked, so they were alone in the house 24 hours most of the time. And like I said, my dad looked like he was beginning to get symptoms. So I moved them with us. And when my dad passed away in January, all the way until October, it was me and my daughter, and mostly me. And it's a 24-hour day job because they wake up in the middle of the night. So you get I can probably take all the hours I slept in those 10 months and they wouldn't fill a day because I just was half an hour here, an hour there, half an hour. It was horrible.
right.
And it got to the point where the doctor said to me, either you put her in a home or I'm putting you in the hospital.
Now we also have a comment here. I don't know if you can see it from your tablet, but Marianne said, I took care of my mom with medium advanced Alzheimer's
Uh
until I
huh.
couldn't, about 2 years. Once she went into a fancy nursing home, she went downhill fast and she died within 6 months. It broke my heart. I didn't know what else to do because it became a full time job. And it
Yes,
is
it
so
is.
true.
Yes, it is. I'm
Don't feel
so sorry she
guilty.
went through that because I've been. Here's the thing:
Hi, Janice,
a.
honey.
My mom was never a rowdy person, so
Hmm.
she has always stayed level. But I saw the difference between Puerto Rico and here.
Uh
And
huh.
of course, when my dad passed away, it was like all her connection to anything reality based was gone. So I understand what she's saying about going downhill. But my mother, except for the fact that she refuses to get up from her wheelchair, and of course, she doesn't know where she is and who she is half the time, she's perfectly fine, which is
Right.
weird.
Right. But these are the patients that will get up in the middle of the night and they'll get into
Mm-hmm.
things or they'll wander off or, and you can't tie them to their bed or,
Nope.
because that's inhumane and illegal. And it finally becomes to the point where you're not getting a wink of sleep because you're watching this person literally sleep and
Mm-hmm.
you're missing out on much needed sleep to where you can't even think clearly anymore. And people don't give people like you enough credit because it is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week job. And it is minute to minute. It's not even hour to hour, like, okay, I'm going to go take a bath and be by myself for an hour. Oh, no, you're not. Because
Nope.
that's about the time when mom goes out the front door and down the street in her underwear, and you're going, oh, shit, because the neighbors are knocking.
Exactly. And you know, again, in my case, my mother was not the kind that would walk, she wouldn't even look at the door. But I have a dog, and the dog had to be locked in my daughter's room the entire time. And my concern was that on her way to the bathroom, she would accidentally open the door, let
Uh
the
huh.
dog out, and get hurt. And she was terrified of the dog. So the
Yeah.
poor dog spent the 10 months inside the room, except for the couple of days when my sister took my mom for like whatever. I'm telling you, it was just, I don't know how we did it. So I cannot imagine how Marianne did it for 2 years, you said?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Bye,
And
Janice,
you know,
honey.
I
I'll
know
talk
it's
to you later.
heartbreaking because they don't know who you are either. And like my mom knows
Yeah,
I'm somebody, but she doesn't. Half of the time I'm her mom, the other half I'm her sister. So you
right.
know.
Right. It's whoever you were, and they travel back so far in their mind to where, before you were even born. And
Yep.
so it's day to day, minute to minute, are they going to know me or not? You know?
Yep.
It's a hard thing to deal with. Plus, and this is the thing, on top of all of this, you are going through trying to be diagnosed with a chronic pain ailment. And you have no idea yet what it is. All you know is that
Nope.
you fucking hurt all the
Yep.
time.
Yep. That's my life right now.
Yeah.
That's not
So on.
counting the IBS and the depression and that's just the how do
Oh,
you call it? That's the main course for my dessert, which is the other shitty
yeah.
things that happen.
IBS. Obviously, you want to talk shit. So, okay, here we go.
I hate it with a passion.
I
And,
know.
and
I
and I can't
know.
take medicine because I remember you said yesterday when you were talking to oh god, what's his
Janice.
name? When you were
Janice.
talking to him, you mentioned that you had been able to wean yourself off medication. Well, I don't
Hmm.
even have that choice because, you know, when they say 5% of people might have these symptoms,
Uh
that's
huh.
me.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's the name? The little purple pill, Nexium,
Uh huh.
which was one of the medications they gave me, blew out my memory completely. Now imagine you knowing that your mom is having issues with memory and your memory gets wiped out by a medication. So I went over to him and I said, "No, I'm not taking this ever again."
Do you know I live on. I do. Alka Seltzer, because after my stomach surgery, I have horrible GERD. It comes up at
Yeah.
night, and it'll come out my nose and in my mouth, and it's horrible stomach acid. So I've now burned the lining of my esophagus, and
So do you have
it's just.
Barrett's esophagus too?
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yep.
that can turn into cancer, right?
Oh, I do. I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's where
and
what is it called? The thing that comes out of oh god, what's the name of this thing? The probiotics, that's where they come in because they
yeah,
can help you. They might not solve the whole Barrett's thing, but they might slow it down enough that, you know, and it's completely natural, so that's why I take
yeah.
it.
No, I
And it
take it
helps a
every
lot. It's
day.
like I don't have that issue anymore.
The little
Huh?
bottles, I drink those little bottles.
Oh, okay.
So I
Because
think they're
I
like, yeah,
just take a pill. I don't have time
Yakult.
for that.
Yeah, they're
The
called
the
Yakult, and you
little
can just
the yeah,
down
it's called
them.
a probiotic, whatever the heck that. Yeah, I've seen them. And
Yeah,
I've
they're
tried
good.
them and they taste good and they're okay, but I just take the pill because that way I don't have to think about it
Yeah,
or swallow
yeah.
anything major, you know.
But if you ever do wean yourself off of narcotics, that is the one thing that is horrible, is it kicks off that IBS. And man, it's like you're sick, you don't feel good, so your head is in a bucket, your ass is glued to the toilet because, that's just
Mhm.
how it is. And but once you get past that, I get through the day with aspirin, my lupus medication, which is non-narcotic, and then all of the Alka-Seltzer shit. But you and I talked about it a long time ago. We kind of saw where the narcotics thing was going, and how it was all becoming illegal, and they're taking it away from the patients. And I even told the support group, I'm worried, because if people go through withdrawals, that's when they turn the dark thoughts turn on,
Mhm.
and they think like, I can't go through this again. I don't want to do this again. Or people will say, you're just an addict. No, they're not addicts. Their body is dependent on it, and they need, some of people really do need to be on narcotics for pain.
Yep.
But the thing is that if their doctors decide, and I've heard this time and time again, no, we're not prescribing it for you anymore. Our office isn't prescribing that anymore. And they're like, well, what do I do? Where do I go? Now I had, 6 tablets a day. Now I'm down to 0 tablets a day, and I'm sick. What do I do? And I've heard it so many times, and it's so scary to me that people will go out on the street and look for narcotics, or they'll look for heroin and find heroin. and think anything to kick me out of this withdrawals, and
Yep.
they'll OD. Because let's face it, not everybody has experience with heroin. They don't know how to dose that. What if it's cut with something that is going to, kill them? So it's terrifying to me. Everybody that I always tell them, please, if you can, if there's a way, get off the narcotics, because they're just going
And
to keep taking them away.
the thing about it is going back in a full circle, because the only person that I know that I kind of sort of relate to in terms of suicide, I met this lady once that was helping me with something I was trying to do here in Florida, and her son killed himself. He had Crohn's.
Uh-huh.
He killed himself because he had had a good year, and he
Oh,
didn't want to go back to apparently they had changed, and that's why I remember when you said that yesterday. They had changed something on his medications, and he was beginning to get symptoms again, and he had had such a blast that year that he was perfect, that he didn't want to go through the other end again, so at 22 he killed himself.
yeah.
And we go back to the whole Logan Paul situation. We are in medications because of our health. In my case, the only thing I'm taking is gabapentin, which I don't take it every day, but every once in a while I can't sleep, so I just take it so that the nerves. Because oh yeah, that's the other thing. I have tinnitus. Is that how you call it?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And this ear is going berserk. So I take that so that the nerves on the ear stop ringing long enough for me to fall asleep. And like everybody else, there are medications that work, there are medications that don't work for me. But the thing is, I try to stay as far away from medication as possible, but I realize not everybody can do that. And
Right.
when you have people in chronic pain that have been in pain, and then for some reason they find a combination that works perfectly for them, and for whatever reason their doctor, whatever, whether it's their medical plan or the doctor himself that decides not to prescribe that medication anymore, they go back to feeling the pain. That's when you feel like, I'm not going through this again.
Yeah, that's torture. That, to me,
and
that's
and, and that's my
inhumane.
concern with this stupid video and this. Because let's face it, the boy got 6 million views before he took the video down.
Exactly.
So what are people gonna think? Well, I want my 15 minutes of fame, or if they have a relatively good channel that already gets monetized, you know what? I'm gonna kick it out with a bang, and my family can get paid for this.
Right. Mm.
What are we gonna do about that? Salud,
Speaking of speaking of taking yeah, salute. Speaking of taking medicine, this is, I don't know if y'all can see it.
aspirin. I can read it.
Yeah. 3 aspirin every 3 or 4 hours. I know my blood is probably thin as water, but you know what? It's how I get through my day, and it's how I get through chasing a 4-year-old around when she's here with me. And because otherwise I'm limping so bad, I can't function. But I thought, nope, I'm going to do it. I can get by with just aspirin. I can do it. I can do it. And there, of course, you know how it is. It's up, down, up, down, up,
Yep.
down. And you have good days and you have bad days and you have shit days where you're like, I'm out. I'm done. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Just leave me the fuck alone. And then you curl up in bed because that's what you do when you don't feel good. And 18 hours later or 24 hours later, when you wake up and you realize it was a flare, I was in a flare, and now I'm okay. And you'll never be down to a, 1 or 2 probably okay, but you'll get down to a 4 or a 5 in pain level. And to me, that's okay. I can function there.
I had one day about, it was right before Christmas. I had one day where I had maybe 2 hours, because by the time I figure out that I was like this, I
Uh-huh.
had been like that for about an hour, where I had absolutely no pain. I felt like I felt when I was 15. I could have done a somersault if I knew how to do a somersault. I was so happy. And then it all went downhill from there. I was so mad too. It was like, but I had 2 hours that were perfect. So of course, my goal in life now is to figure out what the heck I did or what the heck happened for those 2 hours, because I would be happy with 2 hours a day, at
Yeah.
least 5 days a week, so I can do something. you know?
Okay, now let me ask you something, because everybody that I've ever talked to, and like I said, I've had this for 20 years, so I know I've talked to a lot of people. Um, when you get that diagnosis and you hear this is forever and we can't cure it, but we can control it. Are you going to look at your doctor and go, "Oh, fuck you"?
I already did. I already did.
I knew you
It might
did.
be because my doctor I've had for 8 years, and he happens to be his real training was in sports medicine before
Uh-huh.
he became a primary care physician. So he's been dealing with me for a while. And he looked at
He's
me and he
been
goes,
dealing with you.
"Well, what's the point of getting you a diagnosis if you're not going to take the medicine?" Because he knew I was going to say no. And I'm like, "Well, here's the thing. If I have to spend the rest of my life figuring out how to do this without medication, then I guess that was my purpose in life.
And you
What else can
know,
I do?"
Roxana, some of the medications that they give you, that they put you on, will be like Cymbalta or gabapentin. And to keep those in your system really is beneficial. Not going on, off. But to keep them in your system is more helpful than going off. But otherwise, it's common sense things. Don't overdo, don't overexert, don't overextend, stupid shit like that. I mean, there are times when I'm laying in bed with this guy. It's not really a guy, it's my cat. But I'm laying in bed with him and I'll stretch out my leg, you know how you do when you first wake up, and immediately a Charlie horse will hit me, and I'm thinking like, shit, 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 and I'm jumping out
Yep.
of bed, hopping up and down, going, "Oh my god, why? Why does this happen?" And it's just how it is.
The
Oh,
shocking
thank
one
you,
for
Mike.
me, the shocking one for me is I'm laying in my bed right now. If I walk right through the door is like right in front of me, and to my left there's a desk, and that's where I have the computer. That's where
Uh-huh.
I do all the videos and stuff. And I'll be sitting there doing a video, minding my own business, happy as a clam, and all of a sudden I move the leg 1 inch in whatever direction, and I get one. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I never got Charlie horse when I was young. What the heck is this crap? And of course, it took me weeks to figure out, oh, this is what Americans call a Charlie horse, because of course we have a different name for it. And I was
Right,
like,
right.
and of course, I try very hard not to use a foul language online.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things that I was brought up like professional people don't use offensive language, which is baloney. But I like to keep it clean as much as possible. Plus, YouTube will ding you for it. So I'm sitting there trying very hard to say nice things when I really feel like saying f bombs left and right. And then as soon as I stop recording, the only thing you hear is I always say, and then my husband's looking at me like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And I'm like,
Yo,
"You
what the
don't
hell just
understand.
happened?
I don't know when it's gonna hurt, dude. I really don't." But
The funny thing is that and it can be anywhere. I figured out anywhere. And
yep,
you're like, what the hell is that? I've never had like my muscles jump, you know,
yep.
and it can happen. It can happen in your hoo-ha. When does that happen? It only happens when you have an orgasm. But no, not with this freaked out disease. It can happen anytime. And you're going, what is that? Why are you doing that?
You
But thank
know,
God it's not a Charlie horse, because that
you,
would be
you
worse there.
now that you mentioned that, and if I'm gonna go back, then maybe this has been a long time coming, because I remember, crap, my daughter had to be like 15, so that's 11 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I
Hi,
was doing
American.
something and I can't even remember what I was doing, but I remember the pain and it was right there.
Uh-huh.
And it was a pain I had never felt in my life. I thought I had broken some bone somewhere around there. And I was like, what? And then I couldn't move. So I'm alone in my apartment. And I remember that part. I was alone in my apartment. And I was like, how do I get to the phone? Because I don't have my cell phone in my hand. How do I get anywhere? And I'm in the middle of the floor. No living. I was exercising because I didn't have anything around me. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, if I fall down, I'll definitely break something.
Right.
So what do I
Right.
do? And then, I started doing what most women do when they get pain right there. They start breathing like we're about to give birth.
Like you're giving birth. Yeah.
And so that's how I calmed it down. But now the most recent one, which is the most annoying and the reason why I spend most of my time in bed is that, and I don't even know what muscle it is, but it's on my butt cheek. And every time I go to the bathroom
Yes.
because of the IBS, I end up with this pain, and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't sit, I can't stand, and I can't lay in bed. What
Right.
solution do you have for that one?
I don't know. You know what? I take my fist and I kind of like do
That's
that
what I
with my
did
mouth.
last night.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
because
It's
otherwise
the only
it's
thing
like,
that works.
hold on, I gotta let Binksy out. He's locked in my bedroom with me. Come on, go.
Oh, Marianne, you're not being a jerk.
Are you thinking like right there? Like
Yeah.
under your hip? Yeah. And that's exactly where sorry, showing off my ass. Um yeah, and it's kind of like I actually wondered like there's also bones like up in your butt cheeks kind of like where you sit and
Marianne has to go.
oh, bye Marianne, bye honey. But no,
Bye.
I almost wondered if it was like spending so much time on the potty with, well, thank you. I'm
Thank
glad we
you.
made you
Yeah.
smile. I'm glad we made you brought a giggle to your day. But I almost wondered if it was from like sitting on the toilet bowl, like your ass is bigger than that
Uh
and it's
huh.
like those two little bones like crunch onto the seat. I don't know. I don't know what causes it, but I know like getting into my Jeep now, I used to not be able to get into my Mustang. Okay, because it was so low.
Uh huh.
And it was like my son said, "Oh, you should write a book on how to make a sports car look uncool because you aced that one." And I was like, "Oh, fuck off." Well, now it's like even getting into my Jeep, it's a four-wheel drive, so it's up higher, and I'm like, kind of like, into it, like one cheek on and then slide it over, because it's like, holy crap, why can't I lift my legs up anymore? Like that sideways lift.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of all the things that I used to do to be so active, and I can't do any of those anymore. I can't do them.
There's gonna be a solution to this problem. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. It's gonna take me a
Yeah,
while because I'm new at this.
right,
But then
right.
again, I'm trying to solve Alzheimer's too because I'm convinced that me without a medical education or anything is gonna solve that too, and
But it
depression.
it'll take you a bit, but you'll get it. Yeah, I have total faith in you. Total faith in you. Timmy, hi Timmy.
Okay, why did I think the same thing you just did was the same thing I thought when I saw the name? I swear I was gonna say Tara,
Timmy,
but then I
Timmy.
said no, he's gonna feel bad, and then I'm like, oh, she said it, so now my
I
turn.
yeah, I always come up with this stupid shit. I don't mind. I'm used to it. But no, it's I just wonder there's so many like I don't know. I want to say like flukes or something to these autoimmune disorders to where it's like really weird shit happens that nobody would believe
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't go through it. And like the muscles that twitch and then all of a sudden lock into that cramp, you
Yep.
know? And like I said, it can be any muscle. You never know. Never
I
know.
went with my daughter to Greece and Italy in one of those student tour things that they do, and we went to the Blue Grotto on some island somewhere. I can't remember. Capri, the island of Capri. And the way they do it is they put you in this little dinghy boat, and you have to lower yourself so that you go into the cave. Well, when
Mhm.
I tried to lower
Oh,
myself into in the dinghy, the chest, it felt like my
a
ribs
heart
got
attack.
no, it was worse than that because it was like the ribs kind of like collapsed and like locked, and I could not move for the longest time. And I'm like, wow, I'm getting old. And it didn't register until now. I'm like, I wonder if all of these little things that have happened were a
Yeah.
sign of what was coming.
Do
And
you
basically,
know
my mom made them all explode. And that's how
Yep.
I figured out something was up.
Well, stress absolutely has an impact on all of these, but the worst place, I'll tell you, and I get cramps there all the time, is like right here,
Okay.
right there, like about right where your liver kidneys are.
Uh-huh.
And holy crap, that's when it's kind of like one of those twist turn jerking around and people are going, what are you doing, you know? And it's like, nope, hold on just a minute, give me a second, and I'm twitching, jerking, stretching, trying to, and there's nothing you can do, nothing you can do. You're just locked in that agony, that pain.
And the thing about
So
it is, because like in my house, it's me, my husband, and my daughter.
uh-huh.
And they're working, I'm not. And that's a long story for another day. But the thing about it is that even though they understand, and my sister who lives like an hour from here, um, even though they understand what I'm going through in terms of getting tested and blah blah blah, they don't understand the concept. So they're all telling me I have to start walking again, which I love walking. And they don't
No,
understand that okay, I walk and I feel great after I walk, but that night I'm going to pay for it big
no, you
time.
know what, people used to tell me when that whole year I spent bedridden, and people would they'd say, "Oh, you're just depressed." You know,
Mhm.
what you need to do? You need to exercise. Uh-huh. That's what you need to do. Keep in mind, I used to do karate. I used to do judo. I used to belly dance. I used to BMX dirt bike, for trophies. Go-karting. I used to race mini sprints. I mean, there was all these things that I loved to do that were very active. And I'm like, do you see me laid up in bed? Get the fuck out. There's no way I'm going to do any of that shit right now because I was an active enough person that if I could have, I would have. There was no way. And I've learned that when you feel that way, if you don't listen to your body, you will be laid up anywhere from a day to a month.
Mhm.
It just all depends on how much you're taking from that tomorrow and the other tomorrow and the next tomorrow.
Yep.
How much are you taking away from those just to do that little bit extra today? And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So people
I'm
think
I'm
that
I'm
you're
learning
being
that the
lazy.
hard way.
Yeah. People think you're being lazy, and it's not laziness. I have to conserve what little I have for something important or for something else that I want to do. Like we wanted to take the baby out to Red Rock. Well, I thought Red Rock was just this beautiful place that you get out in the parking lot and you walk around and they show you things and blah, blah, blah. And
No.
there's a building. No, Red Rock is the mountains, bitch. And there are trails. And I went,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, I can't do this. I can't do this. And so her and my daughter like kind of walked up and, down a little bit, but she was like, you can't do it, can you? And I was like, no, this is not what I thought Red Rock was when I heard like, oh, Red Rock Casino. And I was like, oh, great. It's going to be so much fun. No, it's not that much fun for somebody who can't hike anymore, you
the
know?
one the one place that I know back in your hometown is Red Rock, because what I had a convention there, and that's the one place that I went to was Red Rock. So
Oh, the
yeah, it's
casino?
no, I went to the
Oh,
actual.
shit. Yeah. That's not fun.
Yeah.
It's
I stayed in a
beautiful.
hotel in the middle of, I don't remember the name of the hotel. The only thing I can tell you is that back in the day, all the stars used to stay there. But when I went, I got asked twice how much did I charge, and the third person that, and this was a long time ago, I was like 29. Um, the third person that asked me if I had drugs on me that I would sell them, and it took me 10 hours, but I found somewhere else to stay because I was like, no, I'm not staying here. So the
Yeah.
taxi
Yeah.
driver went ahead and got me after he was off duty
Uh-huh.
and went
Uh-huh.
with me looking for a place to stay because
Well,
he felt
the
sorry for
funny
me.
Yeah, the funny thing is that people that come to Vegas, they think that prostitution is illegal. It's not. Las
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is in Clark County, and Clark County is not legal. If you go into the mountains to Pahrump, it's legal there, and they have all kinds of little houses that you can visit there. But actually, in the city of Las Vegas, no, no. And those are called police officers that you're going to find out there dressed like them. So, thanks for paying our taxes, everybody who gets busted, but no, it is not legal here. So, yeah.
Well, I can tell you that they scared the crap out of me and I left. I
Yeah.
had to ask, and this is how weird this was. It was just surreal. Because I remember I could see, oh God, I think it's the needle, the one that has
Oh, the
the
stratosphere.
what's the name of the, okay, is this,
Stratosphere.
yeah, that one. The hotel that I'm telling you was closed so I could see it. But it was like in the bad side of Vegas. And when I went to use the phone because they had a payphone, because by the way, the rooms didn't have phones.
Uh-huh.
The I went to the lobby and there was like a bar and whatnot, and this girl was on the phone, and obviously she was looking for her next trick. And her pimp was right behind her, and I'm like waiting there and waiting there. And at one point, I was just so desperate, I turned around and I said, "Dude, I just got here from Puerto Rico. For the love of God, can you get her off the phone for 5 minutes so I can make my phone call?" And he's like looking at me like either she doesn't know what I am or she's just crazy and she'll hurt me. So he just said, "Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes." And I'm looking at him like, 5 minutes, my ass. I'll stay here as long as I want. Oh my God, it was horrible. It was just
He
horrible.
he was probably wondering, like, I wonder if she's better armed than I am. And being from Puerto Rico, she might be. I'm not gonna fuck with her. She can use the phone. No, was it a big casino you stayed in? Because like Treasure Island and stuff like that is down there, but there's also like that's considered like old Las Vegas. And there's a lot of old casinos down there on the other
No, I
side.
can tell you that it was off the strip completely. And I stayed
Oh.
there. I checked out the same hour I checked in. And the guy eventually, because to finish it off, it was on a Friday, which means everything is packed. There
Uh-huh.
were 5 conventions going on that weekend, including the one I was going to. But he found me I can't remember if it was a Best Western or, one of those little motels right behind the MGM. I used to walk from my motel to the MGM every day. So that was the
Oh,
place
fuck.
it was awesome. No, the second place was awesome. I can't
That
complain.
is, if you look up Las Vegas Boulevard and Koval Lane, that's where most of our crime happens. Aside from right around the corner from me for some fucking reason. Now, like I live on the southeast side of town, and holy crap, there was like a triple murder, triple homicide just the other day,
Wow.
right around the corner from my house, and everybody's like, "That's getting a little bit close to home," and I was like, "Yeah, that's right around the corner, literally right around the
Wow.
corner from us." Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, but like I said, Koval is that road that goes behind the MGM Grand, and it is bad news now.
Well, when I went, it was beautiful. It was awesome. And because of the time of the year, it was daytime when I walked through it. So I was good. But it was a long walk, too. And then, of course, here's the thing in Puerto Rico, we have casinos, but they're not as big as you guys' casinos. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'll go through the front door and then I'll go. No, it took me 20 minutes from whatever door I chose to where I had to go, and it was all casino. And I like to play casino, so I was like, oh my god, stay away from them, stay away from them.
Yeah, yeah. You have
But
to
that was
come
when
out
I could
here.
walk for 20 minutes and it wouldn't hurt. Now I can't do that, so.
Yeah, yeah. You need to come out here because there's a little down south of here before Las Vegas was actually a big town. There was a little town down south of here, and I cannot remember the name of it, but they had the saloon, and people that lived in Vegas actually would, ride their horse and buggy down there to party because Las Vegas didn't have anything yet. So, and as a matter of fact, that bar is where Clark Gable waited for Carol Lombard for
Okay.
news of the airplane crash. She crashed into Mount Potosi, which is right behind that bar, and he
Wow.
waited there in that bar for news of her. And so it was like 2 or 3 days later because anyone that was killed down there in that bar, they had to wait for people from Vegas to make it down there to remove the body. So they just walked over them. They didn't give a shit.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
there's
crazy.
bullet holes all through the bar and everything, and it's pretty fucking crazy, but it's awesome to visit. I
I
took all my
already
ghost
said
hunting.
for my because my 30th wedding anniversary we spent with me in bed and not doing anything. But for this year, I already said I want to take him because I've been to Vegas, but neither hubby or daughter have been to Vegas. And hubby
Oh,
used to be a dealer at a casino in Puerto Rico, so he's always wanted to go. And my daughters heard so much crap me talking because I even went to Studio 54
oh
and
yeah,
part of the convention, but it was fun anyway. And of course, they have all the magicians and all this other stuff, and she loves that stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's in the that's in the plans.
Now, and she's 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, she's turning 30 soon. So yeah, you have to bring your daughter out and they can hang out and we'll go down. As a matter of fact, I've got pictures of my daughter standing next to the bullet holes in that bar. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So it was built in like 1900, the early 1900s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's just an awesome place to visit. Like I said, I took all of my ghost hunting equipment down there because I was like, yeah, this is gonna be so fun.
Well, I can't wait to see their faces when they get off the plane and they see the machines right when you get out of the plane. Because that
Oh
was so
yeah,
shocking to me, and I knew about it, and I was still like, "Oh my God, they're serious!" And people
yeah,
were running to the machines. I'm like, "For the love of God, you have like 30 casinos coming up.
yeah. Get
You
out
don't
of the
have to stay
airport.
here."
Yeah,
That's
get out of the
crazy.
airport. But you know what? When my kids were growing up, the same thing with 7-Eleven here. And my son would cry and cry. He wanted to play the games, wanted to play the games. Well, they're not 21. They were all little kids. They can't touch the games. And he would say, please, mommy, please, can I have a quarter? Those machines are more than a quarter, and you're not old enough to touch them. No, you cannot play those games. So, but yeah, there was something else I wanted to ask you, and now I cannot remember. Hold on.
Yeah, we
I
went
wrote it
really
down.
way off course on this conversation.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you now. Well, now that I cheated and looked at my fucking notebook. Um, you and I laugh so much together. Where do you find, like, I think it's important, like, medicine every day to laugh, to find something that's funny.
Okay.
That's important for me, for my head. Where do you find it?
Oh my God, that's a good one. Well, first of all, my daughter has the most twisted sense of humor in the planet. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she will come up with some stuff that I just look at her like, and I bust out laughing. Um, my favorite thing to do when my daughter's not here, um, the only show I watch on TV is Graham Norton and Will and Grace.
Uh-huh.
So those two. And then, gotta be honest, YouTube. I go to
Yeah.
YouTube and the thing is I read a lot and I can find the funny in the stupidest stuff you can imagine because you have a point. It's the best medicine. It's
Yeah, it
always
it
been.
really is. Yeah. It
So,
it keeps my
but
head
that's
straight.
about I don't know. I'm thinking whoa, yes, duh. My dog. Because
Oh
he's getting
yeah.
older and I think he's like commiserating a little too much with me. So he'll act just as bad as me and I'm looking at him like, okay, you're retarded, move. And
Yeah.
he won't move. And and
Uh
plus we say he has medicine man in him because whoever is sick on a particular day, that's where he'll stay.
yeah.
And it didn't register when my husband had prostate cancer, it didn't register. The dog would only sleep with him and it didn't register
Oh.
until after my husband was diagnosed that we were like, yeah, he was trying to tell us something, but
Uh-huh.
it just went over our heads. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the main sources, and just general stupidity.
Yeah.
I find
Yeah.
that funny, and I'm not gonna go into politics or religion or anything like that because all of those things make me laugh.
Oh yeah.
Even the ones I like
Absolutely.
make me laugh because I'm like, that's a stupid thing to say. So
Yeah, that was a dumbass thing to say, but yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. And like you said, my animals, and we have so many rescues that even outside, I feed the stray cats because a lot of the houses in our area got foreclosed on. So, like yesterday, I'm trying to drag this 22-pound bag of cat food to my Jeep. And I get it to the Jeep and I go, how
Oh,
am
you're
I
gonna
going
have
to
to.
put it in? So I'm just like sitting on the tailgate of my Jeep looking around, and this guy walks by. I was like, hey, can you help me for a minute? He's like, yeah. I was like, can you put that in my Jeep, please? He's like, yeah. Because he's looking at me like, well, you're a strong enough girl. You do it. And I'm thinking, like, you don't even know, dude.
You
But
don't
he
want to
did.
know
Yeah.
exactly.
He helped me put it in the Jeep. So I was like, oh, good. Thank you. But yeah, I bought that, and they had those little blankets on sale for like $2. So I bought a bunch of them to put outside in our yard chairs for the stray cats. Just fucking stupid, and I'm the stupid one that my kids go, yeah, she's crazy. Don't talk to her. Because I am, but that's okay. I make myself giggle.
Exactly.
That's the important part. So, well, honey, I'm gonna let you go. I know I've got dinner to make. You probably got dinner to make.
Yes, we do.
It never ends, never ends. But thank you so much again for coming on and talking to me. And her channel, you guys, is Metamorphosis Rocks. Make sure you go check her out, subscribe, give a thumbs up, and I will see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Love you. Mwah.
Love you
See you
too.
soon.
Bye.